Every year the world gets more expensive. The newest tech drops and the prices, they go up. But while everyone is chasing for the newest tech, I saw an opportunity in the old stuff, the outdated, the broken, the undervalued. So I set myself a goal that I wanted to flip my way from $150 to $1,500 with these gaming machines. The only rule were I could only buy gaming PCs that already exist and then give them a makeover. But we're not allowed to build a PC from scratch and then resell it. It wasn't easy, it wasn't glamorous, but it sure were worth it. This is my story. I've always enjoyed gaming, and ever since I first started gaming, I've been dreaming of building my own PCs. And recently, I've seen a lot of gaming setups and gaming PC builds and stuff like that.
Oh shit.
So, 3 years ago, I built my first gaming PC, which looked like this. And ever since then, I've been building a lot of gaming PCs. But I remember when I started, I had no money, which led me to the foundation of this idea. I want to transform my $150 into $1,500 by flipping gaming PCs to prove that you can start with like no money. But I have 2 challenges that I need to overcome for each gaming PC that I build. The first is I'm not allowed to build anything from scratch, which means I cannot buy every individual part. I need to buy an old gaming PC that no one wants and turn it into something that everyone wants. And the second is I just want to make $100 profit. So this is the first build. To get a good deal like this, I usually go and look for old PCs, like really old PC that has been laying around for like weeks or months. Or I am very quick within an hour or 2, and that's what I did with this PC. So he listed it for like 30 minutes and I was like, hey, I can pick it up. So I got it for $100, which is crazy because it's actually pretty good. So my plan is to keep everything that's inside the PC, clean it and then put it in a new case. So keep all the specs, but just put it in a new case so it looks like 10 times better. And I can't remember the specs, but it was actually pretty good. I'll put it up on this screen. I tested it in Fortnite and it was like, I mean, it was just like crazy for how low of a budget this is. So I threw away the old case, I threw it at some dump site, and I saw a PlayStation 2 just laying around, but yeah. So this is all the parts that I'm going to reuse. So I'm going to clean it. And the other specs is actually pretty good as well. Like this is a 500 GB SSD, which is pretty decent. Okay, so I had to choose between the old CPU and a new one. The new one is obviously much cleaner, but yeah, I tried using the old CPU cooler just to have like the same look, but I just couldn't. I couldn't fit it. I couldn't put it. I don't know what the. Yeah, so I changed my mind and used the new cooler instead. And then I changed my mind again and I tried using the old cooler again. And somehow, I don't know how, but yeah, somehow I made it. I made it fit. And obviously it fits, but yeah, I don't know. But it looks good. So here's the new case that I'm going to use. It's a deep cool case, and I got it pretty cheap secondhand, so that will be in my calculations as well. So I added some sleeve cables because they are cheap and it looks so good. So this is the old power supply, which is a it's a good power supply, so I'll just reuse it. And with everything in place, the GPU is the final touch for the new build. Or the old build, but the new build. You get what I mean. And thank you for watching this long. This is my first time like recording my voice, so I hope it's okay. Okay, so I just sold the first PC of this series. So I listed it for $270. And I thought that was a pretty good price, but there were so many people that wanted the PC, like I had so many messages. So I ended up selling the PC for almost $300 because everyone just wanted the PC. I don't know, it was a nice PC though, but... So the total cost of the build was around $160. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for the first build. I actually already bought another PC, and I just wanted. This is it's a pre-built PC from I don't know from where. It has a 1080, but I got this for how much is that? I got it for $220, which is crazy, which is also within the budget. And I was wondering if I should flip this gaming PC or flip this build into like a new case. I'm very excited for episode 2, so thank you for watching. Okay, first of all, I just want to say thank you for everyone who watched the first video. The support was like so overwhelming. I'm so excited for this video and yeah, enjoy! Okay, so today I'm rebuilding this pre-built gaming PC. This is also the second episode of a series where I flipped gaming PCs from $150 to $1,500. And in the first video I flipped this gaming PC into this, and I sold it for $290, which means I have $290 to build a gaming PC in this video. So I bought this pre-built for $220, and I'm going to rebuild it. Okay, so the power supply on the motherboard was stuck at the case, and at first I thought it was glued on or something, but eventually I got it out of the case. The only problem was with the CPU cooler. The backplate was literally the case, which means I cannot reuse it. Also, who thought of a red motherboard with blue RAM slots would be a good idea. Okay, so I tried using another backplate for the cooler, but it didn't fit, so I had to use a new one instead. I spent a lot of hours and it doesn't work. While the other PC doesn't work, I got a lot of other plans and a lot of other PCs that I want to build. So instead of making this whole video about that PC that doesn't work, I'm just gonna build a new PC. Okay, so a lot of things was actually wrong with the PC. This was just a mess to build because of all the power was built exactly to this case. But until I figure out what was really wrong, I'll just put this aside and build another PC within the same budget. But yeah. Okay, so I did end up buying a new PC instead, which is honestly a way better deal. And this has some pretty good specs, and it has a white motherboard, which obviously means I have to do a white build. And they always look so clean, so I'm very excited for this. Okay, so I wasn't going to change the cooler, but I had a white Arctic stock cooler laying around, and I thought that's alright. Okay, I just sold the second PC of this series. I sold the first PC for $290 and I built this PC for $235. I sold it for $325, which leaves me with a $90 profit, which also leaves me with $380 for the next build. I think I already have the PC that I'm going to build. This PC right here has an RTX 2060, I think. So I'm going to turn this into a beautiful gaming PC in the next video. So yeah, thank you for watching. Bye. I kind of see my PCs like outfits and like fashion. I want to look good and I want to stand out. I want to be unique. So with every PC that I build, I wanted to have a unique style and a good look. And this PC just isn't it. So today, I'm going to rebuild it. This is also the third episode of my series where I flipped gaming PCs from $150 to $1,500. And in the first two episodes, I flipped this gaming PC into this, and I flipped this gaming PC into this. And I started with $150, and for this episode, I have $450. I found this gaming PC with a RTX 2060 on something like Facebook Marketplace, but just different here in Denmark. And this PC is just boring. Like I really don't think it looks that good. so I just want to give it a makeover, and I got it pretty cheap, which means I probably can make a good profit off of it. And the PC has some pretty good specs. It has a RTX 2060, it has an i5 9400F, a decent power supply, and a Wi-Fi adapter. So the plan is I want to take everything out of this case and just put it in a new case, so I keep all the specs, but it has a different look. I'm basically not allowed to build a PC from scratch. I have to buy an old PC like this and give it a makeover, and hopefully the only thing that I need to change is the case. And I'll add some sleeve cables. Let's get to it, man. Okay, so the first step is obviously taking everything out of the case. That's pretty easy if you know what you're doing. Just plug the cables out, take the screws out. Yeah, and somehow I always end up finding the dirtiest PC ever. So when I'm done taking everything out of the case, taking the old cooler off as well, I start cleaning the old parts so that the new PC feels like a new PC as well. And this motherboard is a micro ATX motherboard, so obviously I'm going to build in a micro ATX case, so no one gets angry in the comments. So when everything has been cleaned, I start reassembling the PC parts on the motherboard. And then I add the new case, or unbox the new case. Okay, so I had some different options with sleeved cables. So the first one was it was like gray and black and blue, and I thought that would be kind of unique. Then there was just regular black sleeve cables. Then there was black and gray, and I had some black and white cables as well. And I thought they all would add something different to the build, but I went with the black and gray cables because, I don't know, I think it looks good. And the PC is done. Okay, so I bought the PC for $240. I switched the case for $50, and I added sleeve cables, which is $15 or something like that. So the total cost was $305, and I listed the PC for $420. And I think the price was pretty good, like really good. And I ended up had two guys who wanted to buy the PC, and sold it for the asking price of $420, which was a guy who I think was a Christmas present for his kid or something like that. So I hope he's going to like it. The first episode has been pretty easy. I think it's going to get a lot harder now. We'll see. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. Okay, 2 months ago I rebuilt a gaming PC for $150 with the goal of hitting $1,500. Within my 3 latest videos I managed to turn just $150 into $450. And I rebuilt this PC in episode 1 into this. In the second episode I rebuilt this into this PC, and in the third I rebuilt this. But but today is going to get a lot harder. That's also why this video has taken so long, because of Christmas and because of New Year's Eve. And also the fact that this is just an extremely difficult price range to find a PC and also rebuild it within the budget that I'm in. But I think I might have found a pretty good deal actually. And let me show you. Okay, so this is the pictures from the listing, which is, I mean, it's a pretty good PC and it's almost a full PC. And I picked it up for $150. So I still have a bit of money to find a good graphics card, which is the only thing that's missing right now. Yeah. Okay, so this rebuild is a bit different because I'm not going to change the case like I've done with the other PCs. This PC is looking pretty good as it is now. I'm just going to change a few things. Then I'm going to add some sleeve cables, some gray and black sleeve cables to match the cooler, which is going to look awesome. Obviously I'm going to add the graphics card and an SSD, but one more thing. The power supply in this build is 850 watts, which is way too much. And I have this 550 watts power supply laying around, so I'm just going to switch them around. I think 550 watts should be enough for this build, so I don't want to waste it, if that makes sense. Okay, so first step is I'm going to clean it, and while I'm rebuilding this PC, I just want to show you the specs. I'll put it up on the screen, which is pretty good for $150. Okay, so I just bought this PC. The reason why I'm showing this is because this PC actually has some very good specs, and I got it for a very good price. But the reason that I bought it was because this graphics card is a 3060. So I'm going to take this card and put it in the other PC, so we have a full PC build. I just sold the PC for $585, which is what I listed it for, which is pretty great. It's a pretty good PC as well. But if I ended the video right now, the video would have been like too short. So I have another idea. For the next episode, I'm hoping to build a PC with flipping a PC with a 3070, but I don't think I have the budget for it right now. So if you watched like the first 2 episodes, I made some pretty simple flips with like a pretty small budget. So I'm thinking of like just making a quick flip just to earn the extra money. And yesterday I bought Yesterday I bought this PC, which is like there is a 1070 in it and blah blah blah. But today I picked this PC up for, I don't know how much it is in dollars, but I'll put it up on the screen. And it has a 1060 and it's actually a pretty good PC. So I think I'll just switch the case and hopefully make a quick and a small profit, so that the next episode is going to be with a 3070 or something like that. So, or I'm going to rebuild this now. Yeah. Okay, so I obviously got this PC for a very good price, and this PC has been laying around for like 2 months or something, so he couldn't sell it because of the pictures were so bad. So I just offered $100 to pick it up, and he said yes. So I'm going to clean it and put it in a new case, and it's going to feel brand new. Okay, so this is the old case and this is the new case, which is the same PC that I showed earlier in the video, but I figured I could just use this case because I'm going to change this anyway in the future. So I took everything out off camera, and yeah, this is a new case. So last step for this video is to put everything from the old case into this new case. Okay, so I built this PC for $150 and I listed it for $270. But I just received an offer to someone might pick it up today for $240, which I think I'm going to take. That's the little profit that I need to build like the 3070 PC for the next video. So I might sell it already tonight, but that's going to be in the next video. But I really hope you like this video. I really enjoy making like cinematic videos or stuff like that. I don't know if that makes sense with PC builds, but I think it's cool. The next video is hopefully going to be with a much cooler PC, but yeah, we'll see. Thank you for watching. Okay, so the last couple of weeks I've been looking everywhere for a PC within the $700 budget that I'm in. And also, I went on a ski trip and I got home like this. So it's been a while and I'm sorry, the next weeks I will be grinding YouTube, but I've now managed to flip myself to a budget of $715 because I sold this PC that I built in the last episode. And as you know, I don't want to build a PC from scratch, which means I have to find a PC and rebuild it in this budget that I'm in. And that is very difficult. But I have a few options. Okay, so this is a listing that I found on Facebook Marketplace, and as you can see, it's not a very attractive PC, if you can use that word. But I mean, it looks good on the inside. That's also what I'm trying to show here. It has a 3070, which is good, and it had some RGB RAMs, which is always great as well. But the processor is, I don't know what the processor is doing with this in this build. But I really wanted to change the case into something like this or this, so the PC just looks like a completely different PC. But the PC was listed for what is $700, which is way too overpriced. But I sent an offer for $535. Okay, so it's been like a week since I wrote that offer on the listing and I still haven't heard from him. So I guess it's a no, which is a shame because I really wanted to rebuild that PC. I haven't heard from him, so yeah, that's what it is. I also found this gaming PC on Facebook Marketplace, and this was the picture from the listing. And once again, this gaming PC is extremely boring in my opinion. But as you can see, there's a decent cooler and the specs is actually pretty good. And I just wanted to buy this PC and change the case to something like this once again, and the PC would have been like perfect in my opinion. This also had a 3070, and again the processor was really not that great, but the other specs were pretty decent, but the price was just way off once again. So I sent the same offer at $435 and waited. Okay, so unfortunately this one had the same story. It's been a week. Again, he refused my offer, and that's just how it is. And once again, I knew like a case swap would do wonders, and this PC would have looked great. It's been a week, and yeah, I don't know. Okay, so at this point I was literally just about to give up and just build a PC from scratch, because this seemed like my two only options, and both of them were like really stubborn sellers, so I knew that was going to happen. But then I saw this listing and I just bought it immediately. Okay, so this is a 1060, and behind this cooler there is a 5600X CPU, which is great. This is a decent PC. So I just want to change this graphics card to a 3070 and to change this cooler to a better cooler, and also change these. Damn, this is pretty decent. Nice. Let's go. Okay, so I bought this PC for around $310, and the plan, as I said before, is I want to take out this 1060 and change it with a 3070. The other specs in the PC is actually pretty good. And then I just saw this SSD, which weren't connected, and I took it out and saw it was a 480 gigabytes SSD that weren't being used. So I basically just got this for free. And then these RGB strips weren't lighting up, and I figured it was just because they weren't connected with a SATA cable. But I later found out that it was just because this hub had a RGB stick, or what it's called, and the motherboard didn't have one of these. So then I took the CPU cooler off and cleaned the CPU from the thermal paste. And I wanted to take one of these fans from the front and put it in the back, just to have... I just think it looks like more complete, if that makes sense. Then figured out this PC had never been cleaned, but that's okay. So I added some new thermal paste, and this was the CPU cooler that I wanted to add instead. This was actually from one of the last episodes. I didn't really build this PC, but I just had this CPU cooler laying around, and I just thought this would be a perfect match. Okay, so I got this 3070 for $350, and obviously it's a bigger card than the other one, but it was too big for this GPU holder, so I had to remove it, and I tried to fit it in afterwards, but it still didn't fit. So that's a bit sad, because this would have added some RGB and some life to the PC, but I mean, yeah, that's how it is. Look at that, man. Batman. Yeah. Okay, so I also bought this PC for I don't know how much, which the only thing that's missing is a graphics card. It has an Intel i7 10700F and 32 gigabytes of RAM, but this PC was another option. I could have put a 3070 in here as well. So this is just to show like another option, but I went for the other one. But yeah. Okay, so I built this PC for $700 because of the previous build, the new graphics card, the sleeved cables and the cooler. And I listed it for $840. But someone offered to pick it up today for $800. So I said yes. So hopefully he'll come pick it up today. And for the next episode we'll have, yeah, around the $800, which is pretty good. Yeah, nice. Thank you for watching.
Ever since I was a kid, I've been looking. If I was you, I would cut up my wrists.
Okay, so I sold this PC in the last episode for $800, which means today I have a budget of $820 to buy and rebuild a PC. And the final result is without a doubt the best and the coolest PC we've built in this series yet. So make sure you stick to the end. Okay, so after weeks of researching and a lot of rejections, I found this PC. Now, the The thing with this PC is it has some very decent specs. This is a PC with a Ryzen 9 5900X and a GTX 970. Now, a lot of people cut this PC out because of the GTX 970, but if I could get this PC for $375, I might have the perfect PC for this rebuild. So I offered $375 and we met at $390, which is still pretty good. Now, as I said, this is a very impressive build, but the graphics card might need an upgrade. The only problem is now I don't really have enough money because I used $390 on the PC, which leaves me with $430 to rebuild this PC. So this is the plan. I want to change the graphics card to a 3080 because in the last episode I built a PC with a 3070. So I need to upgrade that, or otherwise I'm not going anywhere. And I also want to change the case and add some sleeved cables. And before I get all riled up for me changing a perfectly fine case, I really like this case, but for reselling purposes I know a RGB case would sell much better. And if you know just a little about the current PC prices, you know that $400 isn't enough, so I don't have enough money right now. So to make this plan turn into reality, I decided to put this project on standby and flip another PC in the meantime, so I hopefully can make a little profit so that I have enough money for this build. So I went back on Facebook and I found these two options. Now both of these PCs are listed pretty cheap, but I think I could get them a bit cheaper. Now the first one here is listed with a monitor, and I should be able to get the PC alone for like $80 or $90. It is an old PC with a GTX 960 and an i5, but with a case swap I should be able to get like $70-75 in profit. Now the second PC is a lot better and also a bit more expensive. The only thing I would change here is like add some maybe white sleeve cables and spray the cooler white. But other than that, the specs is actually pretty good, and if I could get this PC for $215, I think I should be able to make a profit on this one as well. Oh. Oh shit. I ended up buying the first PC thinking it would be a quick flip, but I quickly found out that this was a bigger project than I first anticipated. This was a really dirty and old PC, and I bought it without seeing it in real life, so I kinda took a risk. Holy shit. But I just got on with it and started taking everything out of the case, and also starting cleaning the parts. And as I said, this was supposed to be a quick flip where I just took everything out of this case and case swapped it basically, and then I would resell it. But it was really dirty, so I had to clean all the parts before I could put in a new case. Okay, so I just got everything out of the case, and I was going to clean this cooler because it's just dirt everywhere. I don't know if this cooler is like worth the saving, so I'm just considering if I should add a new cooler instead of this. Yeah. And after taking the cooler off, I just decided it wasn't worth saving. It was it was so dirty. So I added this cooler for $20, and maybe it will take a bit off my profit, but I honestly think it will sell a lot faster with this cooler anyway. So, and I got this new case. I've used this case in another episode, just in white, and it's a cheap and it's a very good case. Okay, so the PC is almost done. This is the 960 that was in the other PC. But from the first PC, I took out this, which is a 970. So this upgrade is basically free. Okay, so this was the PC before, and I thought this was going to be a quick flip. Obviously it wasn't, but I'm still really happy with how the PC turned out. I bought the PC for $85 and I upgraded it for another $80, which leaves the total cost with $165. Now, I listed this PC for $240, hoping I could make this profit to afford the other build. Okay, so I just sold the PC for $250, which basically gives me like just exactly what I need for this new build. I should have enough money now to buy a new case and a 3080. I hope so. I really hope so. Okay, so I just started taking everything out of this case immediately after I sold the other PC. And I actually already found a 3080 that I might be able to get for a good price. And I also already ordered another case in the meantime. And again, I know this is a perfectly fine case. It's actually a really good case with a good airflow. And I'm not going to throw this out, I'm going to reuse it, but this is just not the fit for this build. And I also decided to add a 1TB SSD instead of the 240GB SSD that was before. And I changed the thermal paste. I have no idea if it has ever been done, so I just made sure. And this was the new case. This is a Deepcool case, and it may be perfect. Oh.
So far, so good.
And with everything in the new case, I had some sleeve cables, and I had a vision with these white and blue cables, but it didn't look good, so I ended up changing them later. And then I finally got this 3080 for $435, which was also the kind of the maximum I would give for a 3080. But I got the, what is it called? The iChill version, which is actually pretty cool. This just fits perfect within my budget, and yeah, then the PC is done.
The RGB fans are beautiful, although the CPU fan RGB doesn't work.
Okay, so I just listed the second PC, or this PC that I just built, and I listed it for $1,045. I bought the PC for $390, and I upgraded it for around $500, including the case and the graphics card and the sleeve cables. If I sell this PC for around $1,000, probably more, this would be a huge profit, and I don't think my profit for the next episode will be any less. But yeah, we'll see. And hopefully I'll sell it within a couple of days, and I can start building the PC for the next series. So that's nice. Thank you for watching. Okay, so I just sold this PC for $1,150. And 5 months ago I started with $150 and this PC. And since then I've built 8 PCs, and I'm almost at my goal of $1,500. And I might even get there in this video. Okay, so I started this episode with a little different approach. I bought this 3080 for $400, and I thought I could build a PC around that. And then I also bought this 3070 for $265 because I thought it was a good deal. Then I went on Facebook and looked for a PC where I could just swap the GPU and maybe the case, and I found this PC. I don't think I've built with an Intel CPU in this series yet, actually, but this is a pretty decent PC, and I could swap this 2060 with a 3070 and I could have a pretty decent PC. So I offered just under $460, and he agreed. So in this episode, I was supposed to build a better PC than I built in the last episode. I don't think it's possible to find a PC with something better than a 3080 and then rebuild it in that budget. So I bought this PC with a 2060. So this is the inside, and obviously it doesn't look like much. Going to basically just to put this in another case and just swap the GPU as well. Okay, nice. I just plugged the PC in just to see if it's working, because I bought this PC without seeing it in person first, which I usually don't do. It's actually a pretty decent case, but I do have a better case in mind.
Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these restless nights, all these different situations that I've been through. I see the pain trying to creep.
Okay, so I just got this motherboard out of the case, and I was actually surprised in how good condition this is in. I mean, usually I need to clean everything, but I mean, other than a bit of dust, this is actually pretty good. So I wanted to change the thermal paste, but I mean the thermal paste was already pretty good, so I just let it stay. And this was the new case that I was talking about. And when I got to the power supply, I realized that this power supply only has 1 PSI cable, and the new 3070 needs 2 of these. So obviously I cannot reuse this power supply, which is a bum because now I have to buy another one. But luckily I had another PC laying around with a 750 watt power supply that I could use. And if you saw my last episode, you know that I wanted to use these white and blue cables, but it didn't look good. But I've used it in this case before, and I know that it would be a good match. So I put it in and added the new graphics card. And when I say I had a lot of trouble with this I don't think you understand. The new power supply didn't have a Molex cable, and these fans needed a Molex cable to, obviously turn on, and the RGB as well. So I had to go and find another power supply, and I did, and I put in the power supply, and I thought it was good. And then I tested the computer. Okay, I've tested this graphics card, and I've tested the PC in some different benchmark tests, and in all the benchmark tests, the PC just completely turns off, or the screen just freezes. I tested it with a different power supply, and I tested the RAM, and I also tested this PC with a 2060 and with the 3080 that I showed earlier in the video. And when I use a different graphics card, there's no issues. So I think this graphics card is broken in some way. I don't know what's wrong, but I think it's broken, and I don't want to sell a PC with half broken graphics card. But it kind of sucks. But I also want to show the downs of buying used parts. Luckily I found a 3070 Ti like on the same day for $360, which is actually a pretty good deal. So I just took the old 3070 out and put the new 3070 Ti in. And it honestly looks so much better because of this RGB that the Zotac version has. And I should be able to sell this for obviously a bit more, so I don't think the profit will be any less. I just listed the PC for $970, and the total cost of the PC was like around $740, which would be a pretty good profit. But I do have to build another PC in this video as well. So I pretty quickly found this PC on Facebook Marketplace as well, and it was listed for around $450, and it has some pretty decent specs. It had a 1TB SSD and 32GB of RAM, and it had a 1660, but I wanted to change it to the 2060 from before. And then I just wanted to clean the PC and change the stock cooler to a better cooler, and then change the cables to some sleeve cables, obviously. So yeah, I just started digging. So I took the old graphics card out, and I want to clean this on the back, but I think it's rust, but maybe that's part of the charms. So I cleaned the dust just laying around, and I took out the old cables and the old cooler as well. Cleaned the thermal paste and added some new one, and added this new cooler that should have RGB in it, but it will see. And then added some black sleeve cables to match the theme, which I think looks pretty good. And then I added the 2060 that was in the old PC, or the first PC from this build. And then the PC was ready. I'm actually very happy with the way this PC turned out. It's a pretty simple build, but I mean, still looks good. PC for around $970, which gives me a pretty good profit, which means I now have around $1,325, and I haven't yet sold the 2060 PC, the PC that I just built. I'm kind of starting to look for the $1,500 build that I'm going to do, but thank you for watching, and thank you for the support, guys. I really appreciate it. Bye bye. Okay, so I just sold this PC for $450 that I built in the last video, which means I have now flipped my way to almost $1,500. And this will be the last episode of this series. The goal today is to find a deal and secure the profit in one flip. And over the last few weeks I've saved a couple of listings which could be potential PCs that I could buy. So I reached out to this one PC, or to this one seller that had this PC that had been listed for over a month, and I offered $350 and we met at $390. Now this PC is one of these cases that I've done before where the specs of the PC is actually pretty good except the GPU. And if you saw the last episode, you know I bought a 3080 for a pretty good price, but I didn't get to use it in the last video. So I kind of had the 3080 in mind that I wanted to build a PC around that card. This PC has some pretty good specs except the GPU, so the only thing that I'm really going to change is the GPU. I'm going to add some sleeved cables as I always do, and also the power supply is a 550 watt power supply. I don't think that's enough for a 3080 build, so I also need to change that. Otherwise, this PC is very good. And I thought I would add a air cooler instead of this, but I think I might just keep it.
Oh shit.
The PC is almost done. I just bought a 750 watt power supply from Be Quiet. That should be enough, but I don't have it until a few days, so until then I actually found another PC, but I think I'm going to make a quick rebuild of it until I get the power supply. So yeah. Okay, so I just bought this PC for $120, and it has some pretty decent specs with a 1060 and an i5, and I'm just going to change the cooler and the case and add some sleeved cables, and then it'll be good. If you've seen the other episodes, you've seen this case before. It's just been staying on my floor ever since I took the components out of this case. So I'm going to use it for this build and make a all black, no RGB. Now I didn't really film as much, I just made a TikTok of this and a YouTube short, but I did get a few clips where I just changed the CPU cooler. Okay, so I just finished this build. I don't know. So this is just supposed to be a kind of quick flip because I bought it so cheap, so I can sell it for almost nothing and still make a profit. I changed this fan to match coolers here and in the front, and I also changed the RAM only because the other RAM had a higher speed than this, and I would rather save the other RAM for a better build. But I mean, it just looks so boring. I don't even think it looks clean. Still better than before, in my opinion. So. Okay, I just got this package with a new power supply. And this is a 750 watt by Be Quiet. It is a bronze rated power supply, but I mean it should be enough even though it's only a bronze rated, and I hope it works. I just realized this is a 3 terabyte HDD. And I totally forgot this was in. It already have a 1 terabyte SSD, so I'm just going to take this out and save it for another build. But I mean, still pretty cool. So the total cost of the PC was around $920. If I can sell this PC for $1,100. I would have made enough money to complete the ultimate goal. So I just listed it, and while I wait for someone to buy it, I feel like it would be pretty appropriate to just look at how I got here. It all started 6 months ago when I wanted to prove that you could start flipping gaming PCs with no money. So I set myself this goal, that I want to flip my way from $150 to $1,500. So I bought my first PC for $105 and changed the case and added some sleeve cables for $60. And I then sold the PC for $305. And then I bought another PC, which was a pre-built gaming PC, which was the biggest mistake. I tried changing the case, but it just didn't work. So I bought another PC. Now this one I bought for $175 and I changed the case for $45. And I then later sold it for $335. And this might be one of my favorites, just because, just look at it. The white motherboard, when I first bought it, I just knew I had to build a white PC and it looks beautiful. The third PC I bought for $260. I then put $75 into it and I sold it for $460. And then I bought a complete PC for $230 that only needed a graphics card. And for the graphics card I actually took this one out of a whole other PC, and that graphics card kinda cost me $230. And I then sold this PC for $650. Then I got an extremely cheap option for this PC and I bought it for $105. I then put $65 into it and sold it for $275. I then bought a pretty good PC with some pretty decent specs for $335. I then changed the CPU fan and the graphics card for another $410 and I sold the PC for $845. Then I got this extremely cheap system with a GTX 960 and I bought it for $90 and I used $85 on it and I later sold it for $230. So not that big of a profit, but at this point I had enough money to buy some more exciting stuff. So instead of the cheap PCs that I've previously built, I invested in something a little more exciting. And this might be my absolute favorite build of this series. I bought this PC for $400 with some very decent specs and I changed the case and the GPU for $540. And I sold this PC for $1,150. And this just looks awesome. And then I did maybe the most satisfying rebuild that I did in this series, because I think the before looks so bad. I bought it for $360 and changed the case and the GPU again for $450, and I sold it for $975. Then I got this another amazing deal for this PC that I bought for $185. I changed the cooler and I changed the graphics card for another $120, and I sold this one for $460. And now the latest PC that I've built is this one from this video, which I built for $915 and I just sold it for $1,100. Now this marks the $1,500 profit. That was my goal at the very beginning, if you add all the profits up from all the builds. So just want to say thank you for everyone who watched the videos, and now the only thing left is to build my dream gaming PC for this $1,500 budget. So stay tuned for the next video.